Welcome to Oscar Sunday. I'm Austin Johnson.
I'm Connor Eyzaguirre.
And today we got my older brother Jeremy with us. He's in San Antonio for my daughter's birthday. He's lives up in St. Paul, and we were gonna do a different movie this week, but since he was coming down, I was like, oh, I'll see if Jeremy wants to hop on the pod and talk about a movie he likes. So I know The Matrix is holds a special place in his heart. So Jeremy, welcome aboard for this episode. You haven't been here since what, the Matt Damon draft?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The Born,
Yeah,
I guess it was Born Ultimatum was the
correct.
Matt Damon draft. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, I watched a shitload of Matt Damon movies, and I didn't do that this time. You told me about this like 3 days ago, but
yeah.
But I did rewatch the classic
1999
Matrix.
Yeah, 1999 Matrix up for 4 Oscars at the 72nd Academy Awards. It also won all 4 categories. They're all technical categories, but they're all pretty important and has some really interesting competition. 1999 is the year now that this is our 7th time going to it. We just like when in doubt, we're just like, fuck it, 1999. Let's go back to a year that we know a lot about. We have a lot of movies that we love. So, Connor, we'll start with you. Like, what's your relationship with The Matrix nowadays, and when did you first see it?
Well, I actually saw The Matrix Reloaded first.
What?
It was back in, I know, right? I didn't. It was back in 2003. I was visiting my uncle Sean in Austin, Texas. At the time, we were living in Maryland. He was living here. And that was the first movie I ever saw at the Alamo Drafthouse, like the flagship way back in the day. And I was like, what? You can get a pizza while you're watching a movie? Oh, my God. It was the most incredible thing. And The Matrix Reloaded was a movie that was playing, and I was watching it completely lost and just enjoying the fact that I was having food at the movies. And then when I got home, I'm sure at some point, I was like, oh, that was a part 2. Let's watch part 1. And I watched The Matrix, and I was like, oh, this makes way more sense. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
And I just
imagine that just be like confusing as fuck. Like,
yeah, I was just, they wanted to see The Matrix Reloaded, and I was along for the ride. So I went with them. I was 8 years old. Was I going to say no? So, yeah, that was. And then, once I watched the first movie, it instantly became one of my favorites. And I never looked back. It's a fantastic movie. It still holds up, looks incredible. And it's just plain fun.
Yeah. I imagine in 2003 you were like, I want to watch Finding Nemo. Connor, you've seen it 9 times already. I don't give a fuck. Oh man, that's great. But yeah, that's really cool. I didn't know about that story. That was your first Draft House experience. Reloaded. That's a really cool story. Yeah, man, this movie is so much fun, and I hadn't seen it in probably a couple of years. I like doing that with these movies that I know I like truly love. Is I'll rewatch the shit out of some movies, but like the ones that I truly love and I also respect a lot, like The Matrix, I'll try to space it out, and you're just kind of reminded every time that, man, this is like a 5-star movie for me, and a 10 out of 10 type deal. So, Jeremy, do you remember first time you saw The Matrix, or no? Neither do I.
No,
it's kind of foggy.
It's just kind of like been a part of like movies for me for so long. And it's weird because I can remember sometimes, like I remember the first time I saw Lord of the Rings. I remember really wanting to see the second one. I don't remember seeing this. It's just kind of always been there. I remember being really disappointed by the sequels.
Yeah.
Or just thinking they were weird and not as good. I mean, I don't know. I rewatched them not too long ago to get ready for when Resurrection came out. I rewatched the whole trilogy, watched like Animatrix. Nothing even holds a candle to the first one. I wasn't a huge fan of Resurrections. I can't believe they went forward with that, with like not having Lawrence Fishburne in the fold. Like, I mean, because I don't know if it's narrative reasons or he didn't want to do it or they didn't. Who the hell knows why that happened? But I don't know. Yeah, Matrix has just kind of always been there for me. No memory.
Yeah, it's foggy for me too. I don't recall the first time I like sat down and watched it. but I do remember like the past 5 times I've rewatched it, like they've been just, it's always late at night. It's always just kind of me doing my own thing and enjoying a movie that I feel like I can just fucking turn my brain off. And even though the movie like has these big ideas and these big like philosophical things about like where we're going or what's happening, I feel like I still can just kind of turn everything off and just kind of sit back and relax, and enjoy the show. And I love doing that every now and again, yeah. So it must have been like middle school the first time I like sat down and watched The Matrix.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't when it came out.
Oh no. Well, you would have been like seven,
yeah.
and I was 4. So
maybe not even.
Yeah, Connor and I are the same age. So yeah, we were too young to like remember it in 1999. But in hindsight, it is a very 1999 movie.
Yeah.
Like the soundtrack, like just the visual effects still hold up, but they do feel like the late 90s, and just kind of the themes of it. Like these kind of ideas were really popular of like, we're being controlled, man, like the fucking system, like
they seem so like commonplace now.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these ideas and these kind of things that Morpheus is just like these weird like platitudes he's just firing off the entire movie. Like I feel like they seem normal now, but like they were like world shattering when you saw that movie the first time. I remember those feelings. Like I was like, dude, Morpheus is blowing my mind every time he opens his mouth. Like,
yeah.
Well, the crux of the movie is Y2K. That's what was about to happen. So everyone was freaking out. Like, is every machine going to shut down or become self-aware on New Year's Eve? And this movie, they did, and they killed everybody.
And it's awful, horrible, cruel world. But that's a whole thing I think that we missed out on. Not seeing it, like, because I've heard other people on like podcasts or read articles or whatever the hell, like, or just people I know that were actually there for that first like advertising campaign that we did, that it was like super vague and like sort like played on that Y2K fear, and then like it was kind of like Matrix, like what is it, and no one knew until they saw the movie, and it just blew everybody's minds. Like no one saw that movie coming. I feel like I always hear about that, and I'm like, man, I wish I could have experienced that way. I mean, I still love the movie anyways without that, but like, what a rad idea for an ad campaign, man! Just to play on this like already living fear, all this crazy shit about just like vague ideas about what the film actually is.
Yeah, that's really cool that they pulled that off. Remember when you could just like sell a movie based on a vague poster and word of mouth, where it was just like you could make $500-600 million and just based off that alone, just a good original story and enough people being aware that there's a movie existing called The Matrix. Those are the good old days.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like now,
you're just picking everything apart on the internet. Like the cast members, like just everything about the movie is on the fucking internet now.
Yeah, you just get on Reddit and you can just fucking unlock everything.
You can find the whole fucking plot. Before it even drops.
Yeah, and that's
like good bootleg versions of it. Like,
yes, yeah, for sure, on all kinds of sites.
So the Matrix like ad campaign, it wouldn't have been possible now. Like you can't advertise things that way.
Which is why, again, it's like, to me, maybe the 1999 movie where you can like pinpoint a certain time and place, a certain kind of movie that could, like Connor said, make a killing at the box office off of, again, just kind of the idea of, like, look at this.
What is the Matrix?
Yeah, look at Keanu Reeves into the fucking trench coat and the fucking glasses, and you're like, and then your buddy sees it and they're like, dude, fucking blew my mind. And then you're like, oh, I got to see it, and like, I don't know, I don't know. You just kind of associate so many cool things with this movie. Again, this is just 24 years ago.
Well, it's it's the perfect time and place for this movie, because for this to work, you need that kind of underlying fear of machines, of Y2K. You need an internet in its infancy that people don't quite fully understand yet.
Yeah.
All of that has to be working together for the Matrix to be a part of pop culture. So this needed to happen in 1999. That's why the new one didn't really take for people, because we get the internet now. Like no one's gonna, we all understand how this works. No one's, freaked out about machines anymore. And it just, it fell into the fucking, rabbit hole of internet fan theories and
rabbit hole.
Where's Lawrence Fishburne? Where's Hugo Weaving? Why is the guy from Hamilton in this? Just
yeah, you know, I gotta be honest here. I still haven't even seen the fourth one.
You're not missing anything.
It's not. I mean, especially because I know how you feel about the sequels. Like you're not gonna like.
I just couldn't do it. Like I just couldn't do it. I want to have like some sort of sacred feeling about the first one, and I don't know. I kind of regret seeing the sequels altogether. I don't know. I guess they were more fun a few years ago, but as I've gotten older, I'm just like I'm never. I'll bring up an example. I'll never watch The Matrix and then be like, I have to watch the other two or the other three. But like recently, last week we did Pirates of the Caribbean, and after I watched Curse of the Black Pearl, I was like, well, I'm fucking watching Dead Man's Chest and At World's End. Like those movies are good. They hold up.
I mean,
what? You don't like At World's End?
Well, we don't need to go into this whole
go ahead
arguing about sequels, but Dead Man's Chest is Hidden. That's a really good movie. At World's End has far too many problems.
It does. It has a lot of problems. I still like it.
So I always remember Curse of the Black Pearl being like so great, and the other two just sucked. But then when I did rewatch them like just a few years ago, it's like, no, Dead Man's Chest rules.
Yeah,
fucking Bill
Nye, man.
Bill Tyler, with the popping noise he makes, like the sound of his like pipe hitting the claw hand, like just like the sounds that the Davy Jones character makes. Like
I paid 9.5.
You are a liar, Bill Tanner. Yeah,
see,
that movie rules. But
I feel kind of similarly about The Matrix Reloaded, and I don't know if it's just because I saw it when I was 8 and was like kind of stuck in my head. But like I love the whole many Smiths thing. Like he becomes like a virus. I love the freeway fight scene. Like, that one has moments. Revolutions not so much, and then Resurrections is pretty shit.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Like it does mean something like when you saw it. Like if you saw it as a kid or whatever. In your case, like it's a memorable experience having pizza in a chair while watching a movie. Like that does mean something. And no, I totally agree with that, because there are some sequels where I just kind of stand by them, even though I know deep down like it's not nearly as good as the first one. You still have that kind of nostalgic attachment to it.
I think about Reloaded right away is like the rave scene. So I think about right away when I think about why I don't like that movie. And like I don't know how much more like Wachowski's shit y'all have watched, but like they are like obsessed with scenes like that. Lots of skin over like sex scenes, and it's just like it's like
when I watched that at
pop music,
when I watched it at Draft House, I don't think I was aware that was a sex scene, because it's so weird.
Well, so no, they're not having sex in the rave, but it's cut with
that's what I mean.
Neo and Trinity.
Yeah, them. That's what I meant.
In their room. Oh, you didn't know? Yeah. Well, you were also 8, right?
Yeah, but I was like, I wasn't stupid. Like I understood some stuff.
You're like, oh, they're getting it on, dude. Yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah.
Well, but so that's the first thing I think of when I think about why I don't like that movie. But there's the rest. Like, I mean, I love those two like weird like dreadlock guys. They look dumb as shit, but like I'm a fan of like the visuals of that. And there's like the Keymaster. I can't remember the character's name when he goes in the room with the TVs. You know what I'm talking about?
The architect.
The architect, that's right. Yeah. That seems pretty rad. Like that's like these themes that show up in the whole trilogy and just the Matrix stories in general of like predeterminism and this like, destiny and fate and prophecies and shit, like and how like everything, like they can't change anything, but like then they also can, but they also can't. Like they're really like, you don't really know where you're standing, and we're kind of like in Neo's shoes. Like he's like, what the fuck is anyone talking about ever? Like as he slowly starts to like figure out how everything works, but like every time he figures something out, like some other ridiculous convoluted thing is thrown in his face.
What I also love in the sequels, like the idea of a messiah who totally has no fucking clue what he's supposed to do, but like is worshipped by people and is just like kind of awkward about it. I love that concept. Yeah, just the reluctant savior, and I thought that
as we
played that
see
so
him
well.
Zion, yeah.
Good point. Yeah, maybe I do need to revisit it. It's been a long time.
I think you need to rewatch both of them at some point, or all three at some point. Watch them all within the span of a few days.
Yeah,
but Revolutions, I'm less sweet on Revolutions.
I like the final fight between Neo and Smith is cool, but that's kind of one with that movie.
Yeah, we got Neo and Smith.
All three Neo Smith showdowns, I think, are cool.
Yeah,
even though the CG looks pretty bad in Reloaded, just where he just keeps coming out of every hole, everywhere. There's just 1,000 of him.
Yeah, Hugo Weaving is carrying the sequels by a lot.
Oh
yeah, Hugo, my man. When I was a kid, I was like, this guy does this, and he's also in these Lord of the Rings movies that I love. I was like, acting, cool.
He's one of those nerd guys that's in a ton of nerd that has those two cool nerd. Well, we were just talking about Dan Eyzaguirre and plays Okoye and Michonne in Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Christopher Lee, he's Saruman and Count Dooku.
Yeah.
Hugo Weaving is, he's Smith and
Elrond and Red Skull,
and Megatron.
And Megatron.
I mean, okay.
They're not great movies, but it's an iconic character. Give me that.
No, I know. I'm not going to say, okay, Megatron is an iconic character. Red Skull is not an iconic character.
It's fair. But he's great.
No, he's great. He's doing the voiceover of Megatron and and it's great voiceover. But I don't know where I'm going with this. I just like my two thing.
He kicks ass as Red Skull.
I have 3 examples of 2 things: Gandalf and Magneto. Ian McKellen. Yeah, there's another one. 2 people. Yeah,
that's fair.
But sure, yes, they've acted in lots of other things. Sure. Hugo Weaving's great. Let's move on.
He's fantastic. I'm sure we'll talk about him later. When we get into our awards and whatnot. But on this episode, we're gonna keep it kind of tight. We're gonna do our awards. The thing that's the staple of this show that we always do. It's a lot of fun to have 3 people doing them at once because there's just a different variety of stuff. And we will also look at the 72nd Academy Awards. The Matrix is currently on HBO Max right now. I think all of them are. So if you do
everything,
if you do want to just sit back and take like Jeremy said, take a week to kind of rewatch these movies, I think all of us recommend that. If you do like this kind of shit, recommend going back in time and checking out some stuff because you guys clearly were standing up for some stuff and Reloaded, so I'll give it another whirl one day. Maybe not now, but one day.
Maybe not now. Also watch Animatrix, dude.
Yeah,
Animatrix is number 2 after Matrix.
Okay,
I like it more than Reloaded, Revolutions, and Resurrection.
What year is that?
Oh shit, I don't know.
Because Reloaded is what 03. Connor said. Obviously, Resurrection's just last year, right? Or
no, was it 21?
That was late 2021. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also, Animatrix is not a feature length. It's
you're right, Connor.
Anthology. But
when we were in Los Angeles, me and you in December of 2021, there was Matrix shit everywhere. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I remember that. I remember Caleb and I paired that sneak preview with something else from late 2021 because we both saw that and we're like, that was fucking awful. We need something else. So it's that. Yeah.
Jeremy just pointed something funny out on the Matrix poster. So obviously, Keanu Reeves, is at the forefront. This is the IMDb poster.
He's got the poster is Neo, Morpheus, Trinity, and Cypher. But Smith is
nowhere to be found
in it. It's weird that they put Cypher in it instead of Smith.
Well, Joey Pants.
Do we want to appreciate Cypher?
He was selling tickets.
He was the big ticket man. So I y'all may be able to answer this a little bit better than me. I know that Keanu had, he's had roles. He had roles before this came out. And I know the only thing I can think of with Fishburne that I know of is
what's love got to do with it?
No,
Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood, yeah. But are these the kind of 3 main characters? Is this is kind of their big break, right? This is their big thing, right?
Yeah. Keanu kind of became a superstar with The Matrix. And then Fishburne, he got more recognition for this. And then Hugo Weaving definitely exploded from this. Because I think like The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert was like his big thing before this. And then he had this and Lord of the Rings within like 2 years of each other. So yeah, I'd say this was a big one.
Yeah. And then Carrie-Anne Moss does this in Memento back to back. That's a big deal. And I think for Lawrence Fishburne, God bless Larry Fish. He's the man. I think like early 90s, Boys in the Hood, 1991, and then What's Love Got to Do with It, 1993, was like, holy shit, this guy's like an actor. Like this guy can really do these like big,
out of all
big dramatic roles.
He's been around the block.
Yeah, but even then, like, and he was Oscar nominated for What's Love Got to Do with It, but even then, like, this movie took him to a different stratosphere. Like, it just helps to be in a giant sci-fi, like, big budget sci-fi movie where, it just gets extremely popular. Like, still to this day, how many people have seen What's Love Got to Do with It that are like our age? You know what I mean? They're in their late 20s, early 30s talking about that movie. I think Boys in the Hood's pretty popular, and he's, got some huge scenes in that movie, but I don't know. The Matrix, like Morpheus, is like what people are going to think of when they think of Larry Fish.
His look is iconic in this movie, and outside of just his career, like you see those glasses and the which a lot of that came from other influences that the Wachowskis had. But
yeah. I find it interesting that like they wanted Sean Connery, like. He was the first choice.
Yeah. I don't even want to think about that.
He was the first choice for Morpheus. He turned it down because he didn't understand the script. Then he was offered Gandalf in Lord of the Rings, and he turned that down because he didn't understand the script. And since Matrix and Lord of the Rings,
fucking read like
but since those were huge hits, he then decided, well, clearly, if I don't understand it, it's going to be successful. So he took the next thing he got that he didn't get, and that was the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Which he hated so much, he quit.
Dude,
I love that story.
Thank you for that.
I do.
Sean Connery.
Yeah,
it's not James Bond.
I can just do like just him doing the lines as Morpheus.
Free your mind, Neo.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't work.
Stop trying to hit me and hit me.
Trinity, save him. He's the only thing that matters at this point.
What the oracle sent to you. I feel like we're doing really terrible.
Oh yeah, awful, but that's all right.
Also, as Gandalf, I mean,
oh good God.
Well, I guess that's not as weird.
You shall not pass.
You shall not pass.
See, that just sounds like Ian McKellen. Like you guys' impressions were pretty Ian McKellen there.
Yeah. Sounds like I'm doing either a bad impersonation of Ian McKellen or Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Whatever white British. Well, I guess he's Connery is Irish? Is that
Scottish?
Scottish, yeah.
Proud Scotsman.
Yeah.
Oh, there can only be one. Right, I should have known.
Actually, he's a Spaniard in that, so that's not a great example, but yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. Yeah, like
I saw the Highlander one time, and I don't remember fucking anything from it.
The Scotsman is played by a Belgian, and the Spaniard is played by a Scotsman.
Perfect.
Hollywood, baby.
Perfect. Yeah, Hollywood, bitch.
That's showbiz.
Oh, that's fantastic. So okay, before we get into our awards, I think this is actually a fun little segue here, like fun little thing. If you were to recast, let's do the four main characters: Trinity, Neo, Morpheus, Agent Smith.
Okay.
So at the time, though,
all I want to recast is Mouse. No, I'm just kidding. All right, just the main four ones. Okay.
Yeah, I just want Leo as Mouse, and that's all I want.
He would have been the right age, I feel like.
Yeah. All right, so Keanu Reeves, you want a guy who's like in his 30s, can carry a movie as Neo, but also be not like a massive star yet. So,
Viggo Mortensen.
Well, I mean, it was almost Will Smith, but then the money for Wild Wild West was too tantalizing.
Dear God.
So I think the only name that makes
I can see Will Smith. I'm sorry. What? Go ahead.
I think the only name that makes sense here is Ethan Hawke.
Ooh, Ethan Hawke. Yeah, that's a good choice.
I feel like he'd be Because Keanu has that just
no, that's
no. I'm with it. Trust me.
I'm picturing that. The scenes in the beginning when he's like, what does he say? He's like, how about you? I wrote it down.
I'm the biggest Ethan Hawke fan.
How about I give you the finger and you give me my phone call? You not see?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You can't scare me with this Gestapo crap. I know my rights. Yeah, I can see
Ethan Hawke
would crush those scenes.
If Ethan Hawke was playing Neo, he'd like have to be smoking cigarettes the whole time because like late '90s, early 2000s, Ethan Hawke
smokes a cigarette.
Has to be smoking cigarettes. That's like his thing. I actually really like that. Like pre-Training Day. Yeah, that's a good. I like that a lot.
Maybe like Morpheus doesn't want him smoking cigarettes, but Cypher keeps giving him cigarettes.
Cypher's like fucking Marlboro Red. Yeah. What does he say? He says it's only good for two things:
greasing engines and killing brain cells. He's like Dozer made it or whatever weird name to crew member.
So we're on the same page with Ethan Hawke as Neo.
Oh yeah, that's
Morpheus.
That's solid.
Morpheus.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. For it to like still be successful.
yeah. I think like take it semi seriously.
Well, we could reunite fucking Denzel and Ethan Hawke from Training Day.
Oh dear God!
I was thinking that too, but I'm wondering like, is Denzel not like old enough to be a sage at that point? Because Morpheus is kind of he's like the respected fatherly sage of the movie.
Let's see.
He doesn't seem that old though. Like.
Larry Fish was born in 1961. Let's check Denzel.
He would have been like 38 or something.
Yeah, he's not even 40.
Shit.
Yeah, that's actually a little surprising.
I mean, like realistically though, I don't like Denzel for it.
Denzel's 7 years older than Larry Fish.
That's not surprising.
Damn. All right, Denzel.
He was already like
he was
nominated for Oscars.
He already won an Oscar. He was the man already. Yeah. But
yeah, no, I actually honestly don't like Denzel for it.
He's probably too like big, like too distracting,
And someone who's got to hit that even keel between like intensity and just like assuredness of themselves, like in those scenes when he's like, it's the blue pill, red pill scene, like, but then also riding this fine line between like being this like crazy religious zealot, but also like this super wise sage, like. I don't know. He's hitting this sweet spot. It honestly seems kind of effortless for him. Like it's just something, a space he can exist in. So it has to be that kind of actor. But I don't know. Brendan Fraser?
The same year as the Mummy?
I don't know. This is just on Austin's computer.
Yeah, I just searched actors that were also born in the 60s, like early 60s. And Tom Cruise came up, of course.
He's the hardest. I can't think of. I don't know. You think of one, Connor. You're the one who got Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, Ethan Hawke was pretty on the money.
What else you got for us?
I'm trying. The name that I don't know why this popped into my head, but what about Michael Keaton?
Oh, that'd be fascinating.
Not 99, Michael Keaton. I don't know what can I picture to envision that.
He did Jackie Brown in 97.
What?
He did Jackie Brown in 97.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's kind of impossible. Like Lawrence Fishburne is Morpheus. There's really no other option there. It's really weird.
His physically, he's that character for me. Like, so that might be why it's harder. And like, and I don't know. I mean, Neo really doesn't look that remarkable. I mean, those glasses, the bald head, like he looks like a fictional character, if that makes sense. Like, I mean, they're all fictional characters, but like he just doesn't look real.
I got one. Ray Fiennes.
Nah, I don't like it.
I like Ray Fiennes.
Like you were just like, no.
Yeah, no.
I'll give you Ray Fiennes for Smith.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
all right. I can handle that. I just feel like Ray Fiennes somewhere in the Matrix, even if he was fucking Cypher.
What about Liam Neeson?
Oh yeah, I mean like we saw Liam Neeson kind of do.
Liam Neeson could do that, yeah. For sure.
I mean, we saw him in Batman Begins 6 years later do this kind of like all-knowing, Ra's al Ghul thing. So, yeah, that's a good call. Ken Watanabe.
Oh
yeah.
Ken Watanabe could totally do that.
He could pull it
hell,
off.
if we're going 90s, let's Chow Yun Fat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bringing back Pirates of the Caribbean, baby. Come on.
Yeah, he is in that.
Okay. All right. So point is, Morpheus is hard to recast.
Trinity, I think, is where we're at now.
All right, Trinity. I mean, like my mind immediately went to like Angelina Jolie. 90.
No.
Oh man. All right. Hard pass for both. I like Angelina.
All right. How about Juliette Lewis?
I don't think like Carrie-Anne Moss is like.
What was that?
Juliette Lewis.
How old is she?
No,
I feel like she's kind of young at that point.
Well, I mean, how so this is 5 years after Natural Born Killers.
7 years after Cape Fear.
No, she's the right age. I think she's the right age. Carrie-Anne Moss is like in her
we're gonna find 20s? Out. We're gonna fucking find out. It's the name of the game here. This one's hard too. Carrie-Anne, she's another one where it's like, what else do you think of?
She really, is physically so much that character too. Like,
damn, I'm trying to think. What about? No, Jennifer Connelly would have been too young.
All right, I got one. How about Michelle Pfeiffer?
Oh, love that. Michelle Pfeiffer. I love that.
I don't think I've seen her enough to really weigh in on that one.
Yeah, I'm there for Michelle Pfeiffer, but I also just love her. So,
Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn.
Dodge this.
Carrie-Anne Wilson at the time was she was born in 1967. 7 to 1999.
She was 28 then. No, that's not right.
32. Early 30s. I mean, that's a big pool of people, actresses in their early 30s,
Well, also, I mean, there's wiggle room. Like, how about Penelope Cruz?
I like that. I like Penelope Cruz.
That's cool.
I think Trinity.
I haven't even come up with one yet. So
I think Trinity. I'm looking up Naomi Watts to see how old she would have been at the time.
I love that we have our like just natural pool of like actors who can do fucking anything that we immediately go straight for. I feel like Naomi Watts.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't. You all definitely do. I do.
Naomi Watts.
To be fair, we've done like 150 of these.
Yeah. Well, I've had my own podcast also. Jeremy.
It's just
the podcast. The man, the legend. Podcast.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I'm in. All right, so final answer for Carrie-Anne Moss. I think Penelope Cruz is a cool one.
Yeah, I like that.
That's unique.
Idea.
That's unique. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Changes up kind of the ethnicity of the character too, which is fine.
All right.
And I'm all about more, Latin blood in every movie. That's my platform.
Cypher.
Yeah.
All right, hear me out on this. I've been thinking about this.
What can we put Danny Trejo in as Dozer?
Yes, absolutely.
Of course.
For Cypher, Ron Perlman.
Oh man.
Oh, dude, Morpheus. Ron Perlman could play the fuck out of Morpheus.
Ron Perlman, just get him in the movie, and then Danny Trejo and Chris Tucker as Tank and Dozer.
Oh my
Chris
God.
Tucker is Mouse.
We're brothers. Yeah.
Chris Tucker is Mouse, dude.
Oh dear God. I just like Chris Tucker being like the main like operator who's like, what do you need? and he's like, are you ready to learn jujitsu?
Yeah, Trinity's on the phone like, we need an exit. And he's like, damn, I'm trying to find you one. Bitch, you shut the fuck up.
Oh God. All right. So
I do like that idea.
A lot of people could play.
What about Switch? The least interesting, but she visually she adds to the entourage, but like I mean what's her like one line is just not like this.
Yeah.
Not like this. And it's delivered pretty poorly.
She also gets the like listen here, Copper Top.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's my way or the highway.
Yeah. That's sick.
What the fuck does Copper Top even mean?
Because he's a battery. Get it?
Oh
yeah.
Oh, that's a good little piece of lore there, though.
Lame.
That they call the people who are still in the Matrix batteries.
Chopper tops.
Oh, he's a fucking battery.
Fucking Energizer Bunny, bitch. Okay, last one. Agent Smith. Are we cool with Ray Fiennes? Is that what we're doing?
I have an alternative suggestion. Gary Oldman.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, I mean, he could do it. I think he could do it.
Gary Oldman could be anybody.
Around that time, we're thinking like Leon the Professional, The Fifth Element, Lost in Space. Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
True romance. Yeah.
I think either one of them could do it. For me, it comes down to like, how do they do it's the smell scene, like when the glasses come off. Like, yeah, I feel like I can see Fiennes killing that scene, but I mean, Gary Oldman could also kill that scene.
Yeah, but again, Hugo Weaving, when he does like you seem to be living two lives, Thomas Anderson. Like, no,
he says like lives. Like he's like it's like a computer trying to be conversational.
Like enunciate. Yeah.
It's very layered performance. He brings a lot to Smith that other actors might not see in Smith.
You disappointed me. Yeah,
this movie's just so perfectly cast on every level. They got everybody they needed for this.
That's what we learned from The Exercise. Mine, aside from Danny Trejo and Chris Tucker.
Yeah, Chris Tucker needs to be man, shut the fuck up.
I also would love like Leonardo DiCaprio in that scene if he was Mouse and he's like, so what'd you think? Did you like the woman in the red dress?
I'm picturing him just doing the Gangs of New York thing, like where he's just like super intense, like shoves a knife into the table.
Yeah,
it's like, I'm gonna find that program. Just every character's way too intense.
Oh man,
Mouse, calm down, Mouse. They're all like, oh, here he goes.
Yeah. Oh man,
Leo just way overacts the scene.
He takes it to 11. Yeah, I guess that's really everybody. Yeah, that's really it. You got the other agent.
Oh, Oracle.
Oh, Oracle, Gloria Foster. She's great. She's
so good.
Awesome. God, she's a little bit older, so you got to kind of turn back the clock there. And like
got to be an older actor in the 90s.
Gloria Foster. Let's see when she was born in 1933, so she was in her 60s. She died in 2001. Whoopee. No. I can't.
Whoopi Goldberg. EGOT.
Angela Bassett.
Yeah.
Because Angela Bassett's probably too young then. Though,
yeah, because like Angela Bassett had just done like Strange Days, 1995. With
Angela Bassett for Trinity.
Oh yeah.
No, we don't need to go back.
Yeah, we've done Trinity. It's Penelope Cruz. Angela Bassett would be sick though as Trinity.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, I actually saw that Strange Days listed as a long time ago. Saw it listed as an influence on this movie.
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh yeah. Have you seen Strange Days?
No.
It's fucking sick. I just watched it like a month ago for the first time. Yeah, great movie. Connor, you got to see that one too.
Oh, I have it on the FILMGAZM schedule for I think like November. So we'll be doing it.
I'll see you in November. Well, I'll see you like tomorrow, but
yeah.
I'll also see you in November.
All right. Well,
that was fun. I love doing shit like that. The recasting thing, and I don't know. I guess we kind of proved that casting was great in this movie. It was damn near perfect. So let's. I think the only one that I could actually like take in its place is Ethan Hawke. Yeah.
I love Keanu. Like,
yeah,
I think he's like made for roles like this where he doesn't have to act super hard.
Yeah,
ever.
I haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah. He just kind of like
do this.
But I love the way he delivers, like when he's like mad about shit. You know, he's just like, fuck you. You know, I mean, he never says that in this movie.
What if I give you the finger? Yeah. That's such a good line.
I like when he's freaking out, just like let me out. Let me out. Just like having his moment of like, yeah.
Well,
That thing is real.
Yeah. You guys remember that I read this that SpongeBob episode where Squidward's like stuck in that white, like you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It was inspired by the Matrix.
Dude, there's so many. The Matrix has been parodied into fucking oblivion, man.
Oh yeah, I mean every cartoon has like touched on it at some point.
Like Shrek when Fiona does the rotating like 360 degree kick, like I don't know what you call that. Well, you know what I'm talking about when Trinity when it stops, does the thing. I don't know the word.
Yeah, and you're at that point you're like, okay, the whole suspension of disbelief is in play.
Dude,
well, Monsieur Hood and those other assholes had it coming.
Yeah,
they did. Yeah,
they did. Those bastards,
fucking creeps, man.
Yeah.
Weird ass French Robin Hood. What the hell was it?
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. All right, boys. I loved that recasting couch little bit there. That was fun. Yeah, I definitely want to try that again. With different movies, I just think like the coolest part of the exercise is to see if they got it right. I always find that to be like a good. It's a good sign when you have trouble kind of replacing anybody. And the Matrix certainly has that. And I'm sure that will come up again as we do our awards. We have the Quentin Tarantino award for the best quote of the movie. So we'll all three give a different quote, or we might have the same one. We'll see. I doubt it because the screenplay is so fucking bonkers. But we also have the Ennio Morricone Award for the best music moment. Now, I'll say the score, Jeremy and I were talking, the score isn't like amazing, but the soundtrack is fucking sick. There's a lot of cool needle drops. So the combination of the score and soundtrack gives us a lot of options. Then we have the Philip Seymour Hoffman Award for the best performance of the movie. I'd say there's a lot of people 4 or 5 up for it. I don't think it's anybody's, clear trophy. You know what I mean? But that's gonna be fun. And then the Roger Deakins Award for the best scene of the movie. So Connor, we'll start with you, and then Jeremy can go. Then I'll finish us off. So Connor, you're Tarantino whenever you're ready.
It's easily Agent Smith's prison speech, like where he's talking about, he's trying to break Morpheus, and he confesses, like, all right, look, this is the deal. This is why I need the codes. And he says, I hate this place, this zoo, this prison, this reality, whatever you want to call it. I can't stand it any longer. It's the smell, if there's such a thing. I feel saturated by it. I can taste your stink. And every time I do, I fear that I've somehow been infected by it. It's repulsive. I must get out of here. I must get free. And in this mind is the key. Once Zion is destroyed, there is no need for me to be here. Do you understand? I need the codes. I have to get inside Zion, and you have to tell me how. You're going to tell me or you're going to die. It's such a great character insight moment for Smith, because I love that, these are supposed to be emotionless machines, and the other two agents are. But Smith is a sadist. He loves inducing fear, pain, rage. He has human emotions, and you really feel that in this, and you start thinking, like, what is... Because this guy... He's different from the rest of the agents. There's something else about this guy. And that gets expanded on in the sequels. And, I personally think he is the one, not Neo. Just like, that's a whole thing. I don't want to get into that, but it's a lot that backs that up.
Yeah.
But I think Hugo Weaving's delivery in that scene is great. Just him, taking his earbud out, not hearing the other agents telling them, him about Neo's invasion, and just revealing to Morpheus how much he fucking hates humanity.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a breathtaking scene. I can't say I totally agree with the your take on him being the one, but I have read stuff, on Reddit and whatnot of, like actually it's Agent Smith, and I mean, I can't argue it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of evidence pointing to that. So I do love that you brought that up. That's like a really cool nerdy thing about this franchise. And yeah, man, I mean, that is one of the most iconic kind of bits from a sci-fi movie, especially, where he's just kind of just breaking down exactly what we're watching and like why he's the main villain. It's brilliant. It's fucking brilliant. So Jeremy, what do you got? Yeah, that's mine. The one at the top.
Probably just go there. It's like the same scene, right?
Yeah. Is yours different?
Yeah.
Mine's from kind of the same scene. So I'll do.
I feel like the most organic thing right now. Mine has nothing to do with any of this. Is not going to be nearly, but like, because this like,
yeah.
Because he says he has two fucking like monologues that are like just as dope as. I feel like organically you just have to go.
Right I like the one where he sits down and like crosses his legs and he says, "I'd like to share a revelation that I've had during my time here. It came to me when I tried to classify your species, and I realized that you're not actually mammals. Every mammal on this planet instinctively develops a natural equilibrium with the surrounding environment, but you humans do not. You move to an area, you multiply and you multiply until every natural resource is consumed, and the only way you can survive is to spread to another area. There is another organism on this planet that follows the same pattern. Do you know what it is? A virus. Human beings are a disease, a cancer of this planet. You're a plague, and we are the cure." So yeah, I'm just piggybacking on Connor. It's just such
no. He says this and then takes his fucking glasses out and his says
that. Yeah,
That's why I was like, you gotta.
Yes. So I chose one. I chose one, and I like. I mean, both of them are. The whole thing is so sick, but I had a feeling one of you would have the other, so I just chose the first.
I mean, I had both. I have like a bunch written down, and it was. I mean, this whole movie, like most of these awards are between two people, and it's like all the crazy shit that Lawrence Fishburne says, but
yeah.
But yeah, I didn't mean to like fuck up
the
order here, but I was like, you have to just do that.
Yeah, Jeremy was like, "Is that yours?" I'm like, "Damn right it is." So Connor and I, we both obviously connect with that particular scene, and Hugo Weaving's delivery.
It's one of the best scenes of the movie, but it's also like, I mean, Hugo Weaving has like crafted this like super cool character. And I'm sure in no small part to the writers and the Wachowskis, but like when in these scenes, like the delivery of these scenes, especially when he takes his he like dismisses the other two agents, takes his earpiece out, like then also when they come back and they're like, "What were you doing?" Like,
yeah,
and he was like,
and he's holding his hand. He's like holding Morpheus. Like
this is really the scene. This is like the scene when like Hugo Weaving's dead, and they're like, this guy was such a great actor. Like, this should be the scene. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I
this agree. Is the one that plays on the fucking reel.
When he finally gets to like really sit down and just talk to Morpheus without Morpheus being able to respond is like, man, it is powerful.
And that's kind of the only time in the movie when he has just like uninterrupted dialogue the whole time.
Yes.
It's really just him doing this like slinking, like sneery, like Mr. Anderson, like the rest of the movie.
Yeah, but like this bit in particular, this Agent Smith bit where he's like I connected to like when he's like, you guys multiply and you multiply and you multiply, like made me think of other villains that I do. Like, yeah, they're scary, but like you can't really argue with them. Like it reminded me of like Thanos, where you're like, yeah, Thanos is a villain, but like he's kind of right, he kind of has a point here, like obviously you don't want to start a genocide, but like you get to an extent, you get where they're coming from. Jeremy and I were talking about Killmonger earlier before we were recording. We were driving to the grocery store, and we were like, "Yeah, man, like it's so cool." Like I've always just been like, "Yeah, that character just makes sense. Like he's not really like technically evil, like
from Black Panther." Just
yeah.
In case somebody
didn't know. Yeah. I like villains like that are like their reasoning is
very sympathetic.
It's well thought out.
It's like you're like, oh, I get why. This makes sense. Mm-hmm. What you want to do makes sense. I think. Go ahead.
I'd argue that the other agents are that. The other agents are just part of the process, part of the machine, working for the whole. Smith is the one who has his own goals, who wants to conquer, who wants to destroy everything, who wants them to know it was him.
Yeah.
And that's what sets him apart. He's not, he's no longer part of the whole. He's branching off with his own desires and his own plan. And that's why I love him so much, because he's not one of them, and he's not human. He's not a machine. He's not human. He's just Smith. He's in his own lane, doing his own thing, destroying everything that, both sides want him dead. And of course, this is more in the sequels, but it definitely starts towards the end of the
that's what
movie.
I was going to ask you is like, are you pulling some of that from the sequels?
Yeah, I am, but it's definitely leading towards that in the first movie. You definitely get the vibe that he's not on the same page as the other agents. He's got his own agenda here, apart from the machine construct.
He's not on the same. It's not on the same page as anyone. He's like the ultimate. What's the alignment charts, like the evil chaos or whatever, like
chaotic evil?
Yeah. Would you say he's a good example of that? I feel
he's chaotic evil, and the other machines are like, lawful evil.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, good shit.
Such a great character, and like, yeah, you know what? All those other actors we said could play him, they can't.
Nah.
Maybe they could have. I don't know. Do you have any anecdotes about who may have been up for this role other than him?
Regrettably, I don't.
No. Will Smith.
Yeah. No.
Can you picture Will Smith delivering these speeches?
Just crying.
Yeah.
Has he ever played a villain outside of real life?
The smell.
Yeah, did you hear that?
Well, he's sort of a villain in that really bad Suicide Squad movie.
No.
He was doing it. Except he was doing it all for his daughter.
Yeah. No thanks.
Let's not get into that.
All
movie.
right, Jeremy, what's your Tarantino?
I don't know, man. I still don't know. I have a big list here. I'm gonna say the one. Then can I read just a couple of the other ones?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. I think it's mostly Morpheus on this page that I have here. But like, I think my favorite Morpheus line is just when he says, "Welcome to the desert of the real."
Just the delivery. Yeah.
Like, and just like, I don't really remember it from when I was younger, but the few times I've rewatched it in my like late 20s, and then like just however, what was it, a couple months ago when I rewatched it, that line just like blows my fucking mind back. Like, not really in the way that I say like, oh, it just blew my mind, but like it opens up this whole like conceptual things. It's like what he's talking about, how reality has been shattered and like Earth as we know it is gone. Like, but it's also like this idea of like some of these deeper themes of these movies, like the desert of the real, like is such a heavy fucking line, like, or just idea, like, and you're getting into like all these like ideas, like, oh, like, are these stories really just like an allegory for like transitioning, or is it all about like what are the broader strokes of these themes, like, but that desert of the real, like whatever this story means to you is just like, it's just a fucking, just desert of the real is such a fucking pleasing like line.
Yeah.
And outside of just like this like world that we're plugged into all the time, like it was a thing I always felt when I was unemployed and I just played fucking Dark Souls for like 8 hours on end, and then like I'd just be like sucked into this world, into any kind of virtual world that you're engaged in, whether it's social media or whatever. And like when you turn that game off, you put the phone down, the screen goes black, and you're just like back in, you're like, oh, like none of that was real. Like I exist outside of that. Like it's the way I feel when movies end. Like,
yeah.
So it's like,
yeah.
I mean, there's so many. This, to me, this is the hardest. I think Deacons and this one are the two hardest awards for this. And like there's so many dope fucking lines. But just a couple real quick ones. Like there's like this random guy that goes to try to like buy, I don't know what he's doing. He's like buying programs or something, and he's like, it's called mescaline, and it's the only way to fly.
That's the guy who shows up at his door.
Yeah. Those like raver dudes, like, and also like that establishes this kind of like steampunk style that we're gonna get way into later on. Like,
yes,
that line is that scene is so like heavy-handed with the imagery. It's like, you're my savior, man, my own personal Jesus Christ. Like he's looking right at the camera, like, you get it? Huh? You just need to unplug, man. Huh? Right? It's a little much. Like Choi is just such a ridiculous character.
Yeah.
Wait, he has a name?
Yeah.
Choi. Yeah.
What?
Choi.
Choi.
That guy's name is Choi?
Of course.
Choi.
Okay, well,
it was the 90s. Every fourth guy was called Choi.
All the fucking Alice in Wonderland shit, like. So, okay, I'll just do 3 and then we can move on. I'm sorry for holding this up.
No.
He's like,
this is great.
Morpheus is like, I imagine that right now you feel a bit like Alice tumbling down the rabbit hole. And then later on, he's talking about the blue pill and the red pill, that was one of the ones, like, his thing about he's like, you wake up remembering whatever you want or believing whatever you want. And then he says, or you take the red pill and, like,
yeah,
you go deeper down the rabbit hole. See how deep the rabbit hole goes.
You stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Yeah,
fuck yeah. And then, so they reference Alice in Wonderland, and then Cypher references Wizard of Oz. Like in the next scene, he's like, "What? Now I'm gonna look at it again." So it's buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy. Kansas is going bye-bye. Brilliant. All right. That's we can move on.
Oh man,
real quick, there is no spoon. What? I did find who was offered Smith before Hugo Weaving got the role. It's 2 names. You've
done that research,
and both of them are fucking crazy. Jean Reno was the first one.
Whoa.
Yeah, they offered it to him. He turned it down. And they offered it to Nicolas Cage.
Oh, dude. Oh.
He didn't want to move to Australia for the production. Like, they filmed it in Australia. He didn't want to do that. So they went with Australian Hugo Weaving.
All right.
We got robbed.
I want to live in the timeline where that happened.
Me too.
Where Ethan Hawke
and Nicolas Cage are going toe to toe, baby.
And Sean Connery is playing Morpheus.
And this is like the biggest bomb of the late 90s.
Yeah. But in our like the year in 2023, we're actually re-examining it and being like, okay, it's bad, but
it's good,
dude. So movie's so good.
Holy shit! If only.
Yeah, I want to go to a different timeline. And go to see that.
Yeah, man. There's just so many. As I scroll through the quotes on IMDb, I'm like,
yeah. Well, there's also a few, like,
bangers.
Small ones, like the thing that Mouse says. What does he say? He's like, it seems like it wouldn't be like something that they wrote in this movie. That he was like quoting some philosopher when he says, "Yeah, to deny our own impulses is to deny the very thing that makes us human." Like, I remember this every time because I Google it every time saying who said that, and it's always just like the Wachowskis are the ones who came up with it. And I'm like, I guess it's just from The Matrix. I do that every time I watch this movie, and then I remember after I'm done, like, oh yeah, I do this every time I watch this movie.
Yeah, God. So many good quotes. I love the scene between Neo and Oracle, and she's like, "You're cuter than I thought, but not very bright."
Well, because he doesn't. She's like alluding. She's like.
I see why she likes you.
Said, I can see why she likes you, and he's like, "What?" And she's like, "But not very bright."
Yeah.
One of my favorite random lines
do
is when Neo wakes up from his first moment in the Matrix, and he's like swiveling. He's about to vomit, and Cypher just goes, "He's gonna pop." I always love that.
He's gonna pop. Dude, Cypher is such a great character.
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking. Why did I take the blue pill?
Because right now I'm thinking the same thing. Actually, I've been thinking ever since I got here. Why, oh why didn't I take the blue pill?
Because it is such a horrible, horrible fucking world. Like, when he wakes up and he's just got like tubes in him and shit, it's just like, this is where that like Ghost in the Shell, fucking Akira, fucking anime influence, like, then he just sees it's just like towers of human batteries. Like, yeah, I can definitely see where Cypher's coming from, man. Like,
yeah, Morpheus,
he just wants to go back.
He's a bit of a car salesman. He's like, not telling them the whole story, selling them a lemon, painted up to look like a classic. And yeah, when they wake up and it's like, $21.99 and the world is ended and there's no sunlight and food is like goop out of a tube. I'd be pretty pissed if I was, not told that.
Yeah.
Well, he just kind of says a bunch of crazy shit to you, like, you want to be a little bitch or you want to live in the real world, man. Like,
yeah, just like, constantly like, how would you like to know what's really going on? You want to be part of the in crowd and find out the truth about this world? Take this.
Well, you just like, wake up and everything sucks. Everything sucks worse than it already does.
Yeah, it's a bit disingenuous. I think, I wouldn't kill everybody for it, but I kind of, I get part of what Cypher's coming from.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I like the little joke when he says, I want to be somebody important, like an actor.
So that whole scene, I'm just thinking, as soon as he does this for you, like Smith's going to kill him with his bare hands. Like, they're not going back into Matrix, you idiots.
They probably just, well, I don't know, though. I mean, Smith probably would, but the other agents would just put him back, right?
The other agents probably would. They'd be like, well, we have made a deal. Smith will be like, yeah, sure, but.
Yeah, Smith probably doesn't think very highly of Cypher.
Yeah, he's a human being. That's all he needs to know.
Also, his name is Reagan.
Yeah.
We don't know his first name, but his last name is Reagan. His name's Mr. Reagan. I don't know what's going on there, but why did they pick that name?
I don't know. I mean,
that very famous name.
Everything in this movie is like, has a purpose. So I'm sure that there's something there. Yeah,
there's got to be.
I can't imagine the Wachowskis are a fan of Ronald Reagan.
No. Probably not. Probably not their favorite president since they've been around. But man, that's one of the tougher Tarantino's I think we've done recently.
That's what I'm saying.
That we've done recently, and it's not so much like because like Connor and I picked like these big, like the big moment, but like Jeremy, like the stuff you were hitting on is like. Is shit like not only is like cool, but it, like makes me fucking laugh, and also just kind of like that the desert thing is I related to that so much, but I've never been able to articulate it. Is that
I don't think I ever have until I've seen it this time.
That cerebral experience of like doing something, but knowing deep down like what I'm doing is just an escape or whatever, however you see it, and so like I feel the same way when a movie ends. I'm kind of like I can feel like a suction cup, like boom, boom, like I'm back into like, shit.
That's why people like binging TV shows because it doesn't fucking stop.
100%.
So when I finish a movie, I'm like, all right, let me find another one immediately. Like when I get into these modes where I'm just watching. Yeah,
I mean, Connor and I, we talk about that
movies in one day.
We talk about the whole time where it's like, do we give the right amount of time to a movie to like properly digest it? You know,
I mean, I'm really like watching a lot of horse shit though. Like just like, all right, this movie's gonna suck.
It's not a bunch of Matrix.
Watch this stupid Netflix movie that came out last year and no one gave a shit about it. You know, like that.
Just garbage.
Yeah.
It's mostly garbage. It's mostly regurgitated horseshit. That's pretty much where we're at now. But we keep watching it for the hope of finding a Matrix, finding some awesome gem that we're going to keep for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Which happens sometimes. I put on movies that I'm like I'm not going to care about at all, and then you do find those gems, man.
Yeah, it happens. And The Matrix is one of them. All right, let's move on to the music stuff. The Ennio Morricone, Connor. What do you got?
This goes to the final song of the movie, Wake Up by Rage Against the Machine. Yep. Great song, great moment, great sign off for this movie. And I fucking love Rage. I mean, if you're going to pick a song to be, against the establishment, against the system, you go Rage.
It's pretty on the nose, but I'll take it. Yeah.
Wake Up.
Yeah, let's go Wake Up. Yeah.
It literally ends with Zach De La Rocha just screaming, Wake Up!
Before they heard it.
Yeah.
Wake Up, Rage Against the Machine. Yeah, it's probably a banger, and it's called Wake Up. So
yeah, I chose the same thing. I think it's like such a perfect way to.
I figured you were going to do that.
I was going to go with Club to Death.
Oh fuck, I love that song.
Yeah, me too. It's just like such a fun it's a good one to just drive to like at night when you're just kind of like just cruising down the highway. But Wake Up is like not only is it a cool song for the movie, it's also like to me one of Rage's total bangers that just hits every time. And I have no problem admitting that I just adore that band, and I'm biased. So I'll go with that as well. So Connor and I are on the same page. Jeremy, what do you got?
Like I said, I didn't really know. Like, I'm not crazy about the scores. It's by no means bad, and I actually think like it's probably a really influential score. Like, I bet you like. I'm hearing this score and I'm kind of like, I've heard all this before, but like this very well could have been like influencing other movies, and like it just is such a part of my like head canon that like I can't differentiate it. But so the whole time I was watching it, I was like, dude, I'm never gonna be able to pick out one thing in this movie. So I was gonna go with Dracula because they play like a club mix of Dracula during the club scene. Great club scene, by the way.
Oh yeah,
lots of leather.
Yeah.
Lots of white girls with dreads or whatever. I don't know. But but then I got to the lobby scene.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And I realized something when I was watching the lobby scene. Like whenever I'm being just like goofy or whatever and pretending that I'm a slow-mo action character shooting a bunch of guns, I was like, and I always do I do this sound like the you know what I'm talking about? Like I do that out loud and like in my head I can hear it, but like no one else can. They're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "What?" Like. But then I was like, "This is it. This is where I got that from." Like, so I gotta go with that quintessent. Like, he's just like, "Oh, you got something made the metal detector go off," and he's like, "Holy shit!" I love all the guys in the Matrix are just like morons, like just like idiot people. Like, hey, what are you doing? Who's got a gun?
I love how every time he runs out of ammo, it's two more of the same.
Just fucking right, yeah.
Just ready.
I mean, that scene is fucking insane. The
whole so sick,
slow motion, like just like I don't know, whatever material it is, flagstone or whatever, just flying everywhere.
What do they call it? There's clearly a lot of God damn it, drywall.
I don't know.
We're like even
we are not architects.
Even at the end when they go in the elevator, and the Kraskis are like, one more touch. It's like one more piece of the wall falls off.
Yeah, there's a shot of the room they just laid waste to. And I think that song is like the like ultimate slow motion, ridiculous amount of bullet scenes. So whatever that piece of score
is called. So that's the scores by
the ding 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 ding.
You should play it.
Lots of guns.
You should play it on the bass line.
That's what's called guns. More guns.
More guns. Or the lobby. So that's the score by Don Davis. So Connor and I both went the Needle Drop of Rage, but Jeremy's going with Don Davis here. And good pick. I have nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, definitely a great music moment in this movie. Our first real, slow-mo epic fight scene of the franchise, really.
Yeah. Yeah, good shit. All right, here we go. This is big time. This is like a personality test. The Philip Seymour Hoffman Award. Connor and I have had so many interesting discussions about who wins the movie as far as performance goes. With The Matrix, we already talked about the individuals and we recasted them. So we have kind of shown our cards as far as how much we love all of them. But which one do we love the most? Connor, who's the PSH?
Well, before I announce mine, I have actually been doing a personal project where I've been going back through all of our Oscar Sundays and pinpointing our selections for the Philip Seymour Hoffman Award and charting them, just I can see how many times we've been on the same page and where we've gone. And we have agreed a lot.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. Well, this goes to Hugo Weaving.
I'm in the same boat. Jeremy?
There's only two. And for me, there's only two. There's not even
Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne and Hugo Weaving, and in the end, I gotta give it to Fishburne.
Oh, good. Okay, so we have some difference there. Hugo. Obviously, Connor and I both chose like the big moment, his dialogue at the end.
I mean, he's
just lights out.
It's like what he like crafted, because I feel like he did a lot of work into. Well, this is y'all's pick, so I'll let you.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I know what you're gonna say. Like he does. I mean, sure. Like the screenplay is awesome, but I'm 100% sure that he was like, hey, I think I could do some things to turn this character up to 11, and like let me do it, And it's like it's so obvious. He's so fucking committed and so into that character. Like I love Hugo Weaving. But Agent Smith is by far and away one of the cooler characters of this era of movies, and like one of the coolest villains, and for sure my favorite Hugo Weaving performance. So I just like there was no. I freed my mind before the movie started as far as this award goes, but the whole time I was kind of like, yeah, it's fucking Hugo Weaving.
Yeah. I wrote down most of my awards before I even started the movie, admittedly. Like, I know my favorite bits.
Yeah.
But Hugo Weaving, like the second he shows up on screen, arguing with that cop, is like, give me that Juris my diction crap. That guy, I love that guy. But it's a great thing to say. But he just has presence from the second you see him. You're like, oh, okay, I think this is our bad guy. He's just got that it factor, that wow factor that a great character actor has. It makes a great villain and just gets better every time we see him. His little bathroom fight with Morpheus where he lets Morpheus have one punch, and he's like, just grabs his arms and then just like lifts them up easily. Like, he's doing so much great work in this.
But Larry Fish, super good as Morpheus. Jeremy, state your case.
This time that I was watching it, I was thinking about this is like the anime influence on this movie, but like it's just like live action anime. Like, I was thinking about that constantly the whole time, and of course it's a lot of the fight scenes, fight animation, like choreography, like the way like Neo just is blocking all those hits, but like this time I just keep thinking about how like there's so many shots that just look like anime character shit. Like Morpheus just looks like a live action anime character, and not in a really cheesy, shitty way, like with teased up hair and like he just looks so fucking cool. And I mean, he was just born looking like that, I guess. And then they put leather jacket and round sunglasses on him, but like every fucking line he fucking delivers, man. Like he's our introduction into like the deeper world of the Matrix, just like, I mean, like I don't know how much of his stunts he did. Do you know, Connor? You read about any of that?
I know the stunt team on the Matrix films is like revered. Like, they are like really good guy, like talented dudes. I know Keanu donated a lot of his salary to make sure that these guys got paid properly. So I'm sure that, I don't think Fishburne did a lot of his own stunts. I wouldn't imagine 38-year-old Fishburne would be doing that.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's not jumping off of buildings or anything. I guess the one scene that I was wondering if how much he actually did was that like when he's like doing the training sequence or whatever, which is a lot of like wire shit, but like, yeah, I mean, whatever. It didn't seem like, I mean, that's the point, is that you're not supposed to tell when they're not doing their own stunts. But just as far as like the physical performance, is like the way he's sitting in that fucking chair when Neo walks into the room and when they first meet, like, like just the pitch of his fucking voice every time he talks. And I was talking earlier about how he rides that fine line between like a religious zealot and the sage, but then also like this kind of like broken dude who just like, he just like wants like freedom, whatever the fuck that means. Like, he wants freedom for people. Like, he's the archetype of the freedom fighter, like the true believer, but also the one that he like led all these other people. Like, we're led to believe that. I think in the second movie it kind of opens up a little bit, but and the same way you were talking about, the level like Smith's character, like some of that lore and like cool shit about Morpheus does come from the other films, but like that he is this like kind of shepherd character too, who's like led so many people out and then just believes that he's found the one and like nothing can change his fucking mind. Like, but he's also like, even in the face of maybe knowing he's wrong, he just never sways the course, like no matter what, he's like, save Neo. And then Neo at the end, he's like, wants to tell him like, no, like we need Morpheus because the Oracle said that they need Morpheus. Like, I don't, and then just get in his head. I mean, we're more talking about the writing at that point, I guess, but like, or just the narrative itself. But yeah, man, Lawrence Fishburne, like he's like one of my top 10 film characters of all time, and in no small part thanks to Lawrence Fishburne, man. Like, so fucking rad.
Yeah,
like he's such a cool fucking character.
Yeah,
Lawrence Fishburne oozes style in this movie.
Well, I looked it up, and during that scene, the training scene, Reeves and Fishburne did actually learn the moves, and they did fight.
Well, okay, the coolest thing Fishburne does in The Matrix, as much cool shit as he does, and you guys are gonna know what I'm fucking talking about, is during that scene, the combat training, he does this backpedal thing. You know what I'm talking about? When he does,
yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
He like,
it's like boxing. Like,
yes.
The thing he's doing is like a move that boxers do when they train.
Yes, it's like a Muhammad Ali footwork thing that he does.
It's boxing. That's boxing footwork.
It's so fucking
boxing.
sick.
It's boxing.
Every time I see it, I'm like, oh my god, like fuck yeah, like beat the shit out of fucking Neo. Like let's, I have that kind of like I want the master to destroy. Stop trying to hit me and hit me.
Yeah. Like, oh my god.
And not only that, like I think Jeremy, what you were kind of hitting on too, with like the writing does come into play with like Morpheus, like just the idea of him, not only like for Lawrence Fishburne, but like the other characters, Cypher and everybody else in Trinity, when they're watching him on the screen, and they're like, oh my god, Morpheus is fucking fighting Neo. Like this is. For them, it's like the fucking Super Bowl.
Like that kind of like schoolyard thing. Like, hey, Morpheus and Neo are fighting. They're all like,
whoa, holy shit.
Stumbling over.
Because like they don't have any entertainment as far as that goes. So like seeing
Morpheus is the baddest dude they know.
Exactly.
Neo is
and Morpheus thinks Neo is the baddest dude ever. So it's just dude, it is so sick. Like that whole, I don't know. Sometimes we're gonna bring in our deacons here in a minute. Sometimes I'm like, can I just pick the first 30 minutes of the movie? Because that, like, the introduction to Neo and to this world, when he's like opening up and he can learn jujitsu in 2 seconds, and then he goes in and he's like,
then he says,
"Let's see if you're ready." Yeah,
no, he says, "I know kung fu."
Yeah, kung fu, and he's like, "Show me." Yeah, like that.
Show me.
It's so fucking sick. Like that's really what like. Yeah, all the philosophical stuff is really cool and all the kind of, meta stuff that's going on. But at the end of the day, it's really fun watching like a mentor and, and his, an apprentice. And that's his guy. Like that's the guy he's trying to raise up to be Neo, to be the chosen one. It's just, it's so fucking fulfilling. And that's kind of what I walked away from this time watching it. I was like, man, just the relationship between them two is so cool. And then the relationship of, Smith to those two is sick. Like when Smith sees Morpheus and his teeth fucking show, he's like, Morpheus. Like finally. It's just that's
all he's wanted, man.
Yeah. He's like, I just want a fucking challenge, like it's cool.
I love when Smith like does that like Nosferatu rise, like with just flies up to like fighting stance and then fucks Morpheus up.
Yes, so sick. Yeah, so yeah, man. Obviously, we can go on.
That's the bathroom scene as well, right?
Yeah.
They're in the walls
where he's just dodging. He's just punching through the walls. Like, yeah.
Well, I love Morpheus is like he's that like blood curdling scream he does before he dives through the fucking wall onto Smith to save Neo. Like,
that shit.
You can feel the strength of this guy's beliefs in that scream, and it's great, man.
Yeah, that's a fantastic scene. Well, let's segue into the Deacons, the best scene of the movie. Connor, what do you got?
I've always loved when Neo and Smith finally confront each other in the train station and have that fight. I fucking love that fight because both of them are not really prepared for what's about to happen. Neo holds his own. Smith is surprised by that. Smith beats the shit out of him, but then it ends with, Neo finally erasing his identity of Thomas Anderson for good, embracing the identity of Neo, and Smith gets hit by that train and then immediately gets off the fucking train. And now it's a chase. Like it's so well done and so exciting and awesome.
Yeah. Shocker.
Going to enjoy watching you die.
Mr. Anderson, I'm Neo. Yeah. Shocker. That's also what I picked. So Connor and I on the same page here. Yeah.
Man,
this happens all the time.
4 for 4?
No. We had, yeah, I mean, yeah.
No, I guess
technically,
your Tarantino was different.
But it's in the same scene. So technically, we're on the exact same page. This happens all the time, dude. This is why we need a third person to come in and fucking spice it up, because Connor and I are very similar when it comes to movies.
Austin and I are like, it's very difficult for us to debate because we're pretty much simpatico the whole time on most of these. It's kind of funny.
And then when we do disagree, it's just like, yeah, cool, all right. Yeah.
This is also you. Damn.
We're really good at convincing the other person that they got a good point.
Yeah. Again, I've struggled with the Deacons a bunch throughout this podcast. It's like, do I pick a specific moment? Do I pick up like a stretch? Because like my favorite moment is, the iconic fucking, bang, like them floating and pointing guns at each other, and you're just like, finally.
You mean when they like meet each other and they kind of grab each other? That moment.
Yes, that like right there.
Oh, that picture.
Yeah, that picture of them. Yeah, it's just so sick. You're like waiting for it the whole time. But like my favorite stretch of the movie is the beginning. Is when they, all right, let's get Neo. Trinity gets him out to the club, and then he goes in. Like that whole bit is my favorite stretch of the movie. But my favorite like 4 or 5 minute scene is that fight. It's just one of the coolest. Like everything's on the table. Like Connor said, they're both kind of like, holy shit, this guy's better than I thought. And like you're watching Michael Jordan versus Michael Jordan type thing. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's always like, nobody gives me the finger, Mr. Anderson. It's like there's a personal vendetta here that doesn't quite make sense yet. You just feel it, and it's
very cool, very cool. Jeremy, what'd you go with?
I went with the kung fu like training scene.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Sorry, we just talked about
that scene. No, it's all good. But I love that scene so much. Like,
yeah,
I was back and forth between. The first time you actually told me about these awards, when you were just telling me about this new show that you were doing back whenever you started, I thought when you said cinematography, I thought it was like a kind of like shot.
Yeah.
So like my shot for this movie would be Neo in the reflection of Morpheus's glasses.
Yeah.
With the pills, like. That's that.
Yeah.
Or just that shot of him with the glasses, got that gap in his teeth, and he's just like, hands behind his back, like, just when he's explaining stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the training scene is so fucking cool. Like, I one of the things I thought about doing when I was watching this for this podcast, like, because I was pretty sure I was like, that's probably gonna be my Deacons scene. Was trying to figure out. Like, see if someone online had like cataloged every single like martial arts stance, because they keep like every time they square up, they do like different stances,
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if like that's all like actual, because like you also see they're like kendo, kickboxing, like Muay Thai, like when he's uploading all the different martial arts styles into his head, because he gives him, what does he give him? Like jujitsu, right?
Jujitsu's the first,
and he's like, whoa.
So, hell yeah.
He's like, want more?
Hell yeah. Tank's like, you like that shit, huh?
And then later, like Morpheus is like, how's he doing? And he's like 10 hours straight. He's a machine, man.
dude, Tank does that thing where he's like fucking eating like fucking candy, and he's like, oh man, I'm fucking,
oh man, I'm a hacker.
I'm fucking logged in, baby.
I love when he's like, we got to do these, like, we got to upload these programs first, but that's major boring shit. So how about
yeah, boring?
Yeah, it's like he's throwing them away. Like, that's brilliant.
Skips the basics, goes straight to jujitsu.
Well, that's Tank, right? Tank breaks like every fucking rule.
Yeah,
he immediately goes in there. He's like, Morpheus told us not to talk to you about this, but I'm going to do it anyway. You're one, right? And Neo's like, what?
And he's like, Zion, very exciting time.
It's a fucking shame that actor didn't come back for Reloaded, man.
Well, he wanted too much money.
Is that all it was?
Yeah, he was like, I'm an important part of this franchise. I want as much money as the major players, and they were like, no, and replaced him with the guy from Lost.
Like, he wanted as much money as like Keanu.
Yeah,
he wanted like fourth billing, like big money, and Warner Brothers was like, no, it's cheaper to just replace you with Harold Perrineau,
with the guy
did
from
fine.
Fucking Lost, man.
Yeah. Link.
Link, yeah. He's like, oh, I'm Tank's cousin, and he's dead.
If they just would have casted fucking Chris Tucker from the beginning, who knows? Who knows?
Bitch, I'm trying to find you. I can't get over it.
Yeah.
Him getting
boring shit.
Yes. Morpheus wants me to get you started on the training program. I'm going to do that.
That's great, man. Yeah.
Him interacting with Morpheus,
Morpheus
just like trying to say just like super wise shit. He's like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah. Morpheus would have to do what Samuel L. Jackson does in Jackie Brown. Fucking drive him out to the parking lot and fucking kill his ass.
We had to take Tank in a different direction. He wasn't in line with the one and the plan.
Yeah.
All right, I feel like we haven't talked nearly enough about Carrie-Anne Moss, though.
Yeah.
We haven't given her nothing. She didn't show up at any of our awards.
The opening
Can we
of
give
her
Carrie
running
Moss some awards?
Carrie-Anne Moss, like the opening of her kind of, running.
The opening,
when Agent Smith's like, they're already dead.
The orders were for your protection.
Yeah, it's that shit is epic. So, yeah, man, I agree with you. I think Trinity is obviously super vital. And Connor, before we get to the ceremony, Jeremy and I were talking about, they don't really give a whole lot of time, like plot, to Cypher becoming like fucking disinterested in everything that's going on. And then my other like kind of picking nit thing would be they don't really hammer home the love story. It's just all of a sudden like
between Trinity and Neo, or
yeah, for me anyway. I don't know about you guys, but
no,
I know it's only a 2-hour movie, but like I feel like at the end she's fucking like bawling, like please don't die. I knew I was gonna fall in love with the one, and you're the one because I'm in love with you. It's like, well, what were the steps leading to love? Like
it's not really there. I don't think they're like, when you think about it, there's so much fucking shit in this movie, and it really doesn't ever feel that way, other than these kind of small things like that they didn't really.
Oh, I don't really.
That's care. Also from like other things I've watched. The Wachowskis, like that's a problem for them sometimes. Is they don't like things just already are the way they are, and that's it. Shut up.
That's what's bad. It's a movie, bitch. Yeah.
And then there's like a lot of like. For the length, like,
yeah, I mean,
for 99, this movie was long as fuck.
Yeah,
like it seems really common for movies to be that or
longer. They say the sweet spot from the 60s to now. The sweet spot for like a great movie is typically 2 hours and 15 minutes. The Matrix is 2 hours and 16 minutes. How about that?
Good stuff.
I disagree.
Yeah,
the sweet spot's like an hour 30 to an hour 45.
Yeah, but think about how many movies you love that are longer than an hour and 30.
True, but you got to earn my respect if you're going to be that long. If you're going to be a long ass movie, you better be amazing.
That's the point. Is that the movies that do cross that threshold, typically, if they're like 2 hours to 2 hours and 15 to 2.5 hours, think about how many movies you love that are like you hold dearly that are probably a little longer than most.
Fair enough. In regards to your nitpicks, I do think there is something to be said for the Wachowskis' idea of like this story has been happening a lot for a while without Neo. Like we're just seeing Neo's involvement here.
Perspective.
But prior to that, Trinity's been told by the Oracle the man you're going to fall in love with is the one, and then Morpheus brings this guy on who's like he's the one. So Trinity's already got it in her head, like, oh, I'm gonna love this guy.
Love at first sight.
Well, okay, he's a good-looking guy.
Love at first sight.
He's cool. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, it's Keanu Reeves. Like, who wouldn't? And also Cypher,
Ethan Hawke.
I would.
I definitely would.
And Cypher, since day one, since the day Morpheus pulled him out, has been like, "What the fuck is this? You lying son of a bitch!" So he's been festering about this for a long time. And now we see him act on it. So we're entering a world that is existing without our involvement, and we just kind of have to get on board with the latest.
So kind of what you're saying, Jeremy. Yeah, that's fair.
Well, I mean, so the thing with Cypher that we're kind of just like, there's no like really fanfare of his betrayal. Like he's just the next scene. He's just betraying them. Like I actually kind of like how quick it is because it's just like we're not slowly. It's not this big like scene where it's like, oh no, Cypher betrayed them. It's just like, oh, we just like already kind of know he's a dirtbag. Like, from the second you see him, you just know that he's probably
of all of the actors that are a part of that crew. You're like, that guy. That guy's the fucking rat. Yeah.
Joe Pantoliano just plays a sleazy looking son of a bitch so well. We've seen that so many times. So yeah, just his casting alone tells us like he's going to be the guy who fucks us up. He's going to be the one who, And they don't really have time to react to his betrayal because they have to immediately save Morpheus.
Correct. That's right. Yeah. So those are fair, counterpoints to kind of. I think the main thing is like sometimes with movies you do have to just realize you're jumping into a particular time and place of the story. From Neo's perspective. So look, man, I still give this movie 5 stars, 10 out of 10. I love this shit so much. I feel like we have been wanting to do this episode for so long, and it's finally here. And it's been fun, guys. Doing these awards was fucking sick. I feel like we touched on a lot of cool stuff. And is there anything else about like those awards that y'all want to touch on before we move to the ceremony?
I just want to talk about real quick when Trinity shoots the agent in the head and says, dodge this, because we need to talk about that. Sick. Or when she swings, I just think we need to talk about Trinity more.
You're like, anything Trinity. Yeah.
I'm just saying, we didn't talk about her that much. And I've been looking at her picture on it, and I'm just look at this.
None of us had her as the PSH. None of us had her in the Tarantino or the Deacons. So it just kind of happened. But I do think the opening scene in the movie is just so fucking important with her running. Yeah. Because you're like, oh, that's not a human, or they're not a normal human. Fucking Carrie-Anne Moss is just fucking sprinting, doing crazy shit, running on roofs and jumping across, buildings. And it's such a vital piece to the movie for you to kind of jump into this world, head first.
All right.
So there's your Trinity talk.
She didn't get what she was owed.
We just got to talk about Trinity more, Carrie-Anne Moss.
Dodge this.
That is
what a fucking
thick line. That was used, I think the rapper, The Game, he used that as
like the clip on
one of his songs. Dodge this. And then I think it I can't remember the song's called. I know it's on the LAX album from like 2008. But yeah, I always was like, that's so fucking sick that The Game used the dodge this, and then the beat starts, and I always thought that was cool. But let's jump into the 72nd Academy Awards. There's four categories and 4 wins for The Matrix, all technical. Yeah, but who gives a shit? These are fun categories for us. So, let's start with visual effects. Jesus Christ. Visual effects. The Matrix takes the win, beating Star Wars Episode 1. Stuart Little. Shut up. Stuart Little. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Oh, Stuart Little, man.
And Stuart Little.
See with the hawk, man? Whoa. Can't go over it.
Do you want to make your case for Stuart Little winning visual effects?
Stuart Little should have won the Deacons, bro. The scene with the hawk. Jonathan Lipnicki's there.
We can do Stuart Little on the show anytime we want.
I don't want to.
I love that we can if we want to.
Lipnicki was nominated for Best Actor. And
Michael J. Fox, who plays Stuart. That gets me on board right there.
He's fucking killing it, man.
Yeah.
Chaz Palminteri plays the gangster cat, Smokey. Remember that?
Who?
Have you guys seen Stuart Little?
Oh, yeah.
No, who plays the cat?
Yeah.
Oh, Chaz Palminteri.
Okay.
A Bronx Tale. Bullets Over Broadway. Yeah, I love that there's a gangster cat who's like, what are you doing here, huh? Like, this is our town. What are you bringing that mouse in here for? It's ridiculous.
I mean, Stuart Little being nominated at the Oscars is like a reason to always pay attention to the Oscars because you never fucking know.
I have always happen. With Stuart Little, I have always felt horrible for every kid in that orphanage who was turned down over a goddamn mouse. Like the two parents walk in there like, I want to find a brother for my son, and they adopt a mouse over all these sweet children who
they could have just
are never going to get parents.
They could have taken the mouse and a kid. Like the mouse didn't take up any space. I guess because he could talk, you know.
No one ever talks about that. The mouse can talk clearly, so can the cat, but never in front of the people. And also, the mouse is clearly like a 40-year-old man.
It's Michael J. Fox.
Yeah. There's so many issues with Stuart Little that never get talked about, and I feel like we have to do it on this show to voice those concerns.
Okay. Maybe one day, Stuart Little. Imagine giving out a PSH to Stuart Little. Yeah.
Lipnicki.
Yeah, Jonathan.
Is Gina Davis the mom in that movie?
Yeah, and Hugh Laurie's the dad.
Yeah. So yeah, you got
Nathan Lane is their cat.
Oh man, that's great.
I love that movie as a kid. I had it on tape.
And it's up against Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and The Matrix. Like, holy shit.
For visual effects is what you're talking about.
Yes, talk about 1999.
I don't think it should be here. I think, like, why is The Mummy or Sleepy Hollow not taking that third spot? Why Stuart Little? Is it just the mouse?
Yeah.
That mouse looks so good.
They're like, dude, they just went over. They really outdid themselves with the fucking Michael J. Fox, man.
Like, why did we put this on? Have you seen the mouse with his little corduroy pants? His button down? Oh, he's adorable.
He fucking kills it, man.
He's like, so you're telling me?
So
you're telling me I'm a talking mouse? And you're going to adopt me?
I'm giving my vote to The Matrix on this one.
Yeah, me too. Easily.
Yeah. It's not really much.
Yeah, some of the visual effects in Phantom Menace
don't hold up.
Very good.
They do not hold up.
Some of them are great, but some of them are not good at all.
One.
All right, moving on from visual effects to sound effects editing. There's 3 movies in this category. The Matrix got the win, beating Fight Club and Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Fight Club, famously, this is the only Oscar nomination that it got. The David Fincher borderline masterpiece. Connor and I did that movie a long time ago. Long time ago. One of our, probably 10th, 11th, or 12th episode ever on Oscar Sunday. I'd love to find a way to redo it one day, just so we give awards to it. But anyways, sound effects editing, just having the 3 movies, where are you guys at with this? Do you give it to The Matrix, or are you going elsewhere?
I think somebody got snubbed. And it features a talking mouse.
And it's Stuart fucking Little.
That movie, it's like it's like a 5-year-old got dropped off at the wrong school, and it's a high school.
Yeah.
Basically. I also think it's funny that we could do all 11 live action Star Wars movies on this podcast, but we never fucking will. I know how much Austin despises Star Wars. Well, but all of them are nominated, but it's just like, nope.
Well, here's the thing. I've wanted to do a Star Wars, I want to do the first Star Wars, because it was up for a bunch of shit.
No, if you're gonna do one Star Wars, you do Empire.
No. That's not how we do it on here. It's not how we do it on here. If they're all nominated, you start at the beginning, and you move your way through it. So, we did Batman Begins. Eventually, we're going to do Dark Knight, and then we're eventually move forward. With the Bourne movies, Identity and Supremacy weren't nominated for anything, so we had to do Ultimatum. Pirates of the Caribbean, we started with Curse of the Black Pearl. Connor and I all already said we're going to do Dead Man's Chest and At World's End at some point. Back to the Future, we already did 1 and 2 in a row. We had to do them in order. You know what I'm saying? Okay. That's the way we do it, so we can have an ongoing conversation. So with Star Wars, I've been waiting for them to release a real big movie, and I don't know when that's happening. But I would love to talk my shit about Star Wars, because I like. Let's see, you said there was 11 of them?
Yeah, 9 episode ones, and then Rogue One and Solo.
Okay, Solo, not for me. I like Rogue One. I like Force Awakens. I think it's pretty good. The other two, not so much. The more recent ones, not like they're not for me.
I could talk about how much I hate those movies.
Yeah, they're bad.
For like hours.
The first episode 4, 5, and 6, I think, are all like decent. I think they're like, I get why they're like super popular. And then there's like fun things about episode 1, 2, and 3. Like
prequels.
Darth Maul is fucking sick, right? You know, like those things do matter, and they're fun. But like overall, I don't fucking get it. Like I don't get why people fucking die on that hill. But that's just not me. You know what I'm saying? Like I die on the Mighty Ducks hill, and those movies suck. So like you know what I mean? Like it's fine. Like that's just the way it is. Like you just get attached to certain things, and with Star Wars, it happens to be a large chunk of the population that gets attached to them. So no, Connor, I want to do it, man. Trust me. I would love to do Star Wars proper. And like that way you could kind of state your case, because I know you really like them, but you also kind of get where I'm coming from to an extent. Yeah. You're kind of in the middle, and then there's like the crazy wacky fans who are like,
well, see,
a cult. They're a cult.
I like them I like them as movies, not a way of life.
I want to be on the Revenge of the Sith episode.
Sweet.
Specifically
2005.
Yeah.
See, like I remember seeing that one in theaters and being like, this is fine. It's not like a great movie, but I'm having fun.
I was like, my jaw was open the whole time. Like, oh my God, it's the Fall of the Jedi. I was psyched the whole time. I was like, wow.
No, I've rewatched. I rewatched all those movies. I keep trying to rewatch the prequel trilogy, and it's hard. It's a slog.
See, I grew up with them. I have fond childhood memories of the prequels.
Oh, I know. The sequels. Sorry, the sequels.
Oh yeah, those. Yeah, not really.
I keep trying to rewatch it, but I know I'm like I think Revenge of the Sith is actually a pretty good movie, and there's so many bad things about all three of those movies, but that climactic fight on Mustafar, the score just soaring, man. Like that's one of the things about that entire franchise is the score is one of my favorite some of my favorite film
with 9 movies. John Williams never phoned it in. He always gave an incredible score.
He went hard as fuck,
man. Every time. He never recycled. It was always something new that felt like another piece of the Star Wars puzzle. He's the fucking unsung hero of that franchise.
Yeah, well said. Well, I love how we went on that whole thing. Do you give Phantom Menace sound effects editing?
Not at all. That doesn't deserve anything. It 100% goes to the Matrix. I just wanted that to be known.
Yeah. No, I don't think
it's. I think the sound. I think the sound is fine in Phantom Menace, but the other one is Fight Club. No. I don't. Why the fuck is Fight Club even there? It's not like its sound effects editing was bad, but it's this is something that's
dependent.
The Matrix is it's talking about when you watch Dark Knight, everything sound one of the things that I'll never talk shit about with those movies is everything sounds so fucking great, man. The sounds his gadgets make, and that's the thing with the Matrix is all these machines and whirring, clicking things, and the sound of fucking Morpheus getting his shit punched in, Matrix.
The fight noises are awesome, the thwip noise that all the punches have. I've never heard that in any other movie. That's a very unique sound to the Matrix.
Yeah, it wasn't that kind of thing that that just blowing into the microphone kind of punch sound.
Yeah. But Star Wars also, Phantom Menace has that pod racing scene, which is beautifully, sounds beautiful and is really cool.
Hell yeah. So I think that movie sounds great, but I don't think either one can touch the Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm with you on that. And now that's a good way to get into best sound. 5 movies in this category. Real random. We have The Matrix with the win, beating The Green Mile, The Insider, both Best Picture nominees there. The Green Mile, right? The Green Mile?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know The Insider is because
I don't know what The Insider is. I know The Green Mile.
No, The Insider. The Insider.
Yeah, they both are. Yeah.
So I remember I was looking at it about ones that I didn't want to rewatch, and Green Mile was one of them.
Dude, The Insider fucking rules.
I've never even heard of that movie.
Dude, Michael Mann. Come on. Yeah.
You
would love it. You would love it.
I like Mann, but yeah.
Russell Crowe, Al Pacino. Al Pacino turns it up like
I've never even fucking heard
dude, you have to see The Insider. It's sick. Anyways, it also beat The Mummy and Star Wars Episode 1.
The Mummy? Menace. What?
I actually might give this to The Mummy.
Really?
Me too.
All right.
Imhotep.
Yeah, Imhotep. We did this movie not that long ago, like a couple months ago.
When it comes to sound design, I want original, unique noises I'm only going to hear in that movie. And while you get that in The Matrix, you also get it tenfold in The Mummy with the roars and the plane noises and the scarabs. And it's very unique sounds to that movie. And I have fierce loyalty to that film. So I will give it to The Mummy.
I love that. I'm curious to hear what you say about this one. Best film editing. Now, best film editing, if you do like a lot of research, typically, and this year is a great case for it, typically a chunk of the movies that are up for film editing will transfer over to Best Picture, right? So here we have The Matrix winning Best Film Editing, beating Best Picture winner, American Beauty, Best Picture nominee, The Cider House Rules, Best Picture nominee, The Insider, and Best Picture nominee, The Sixth Sense. The only one that's missing is The Green Mile. The Matrix replaces it. This is fascinating because, yes, I'd give it to The Matrix for Best Film Editing. Why was it not up for Best Picture? Like, what the fuck?
Is it sci-fi?
The Oscars don't nominate films like that. You know the Academy.
Yeah, you know the Academy.
The genre film. You get one every decade.
But the thing is like The Matrix not only like four nominations.
Yeah, like Being John Malkovich is nominated though, right?
For directing. Yeah.
Oh, that's not Best Picture.
Best Picture is these 5 right here. So like The Matrix not only was it like Fight Club was given fucking like pennies. Like, here you go, bitch. Like, here, you take your stuff and move on. The Matrix was up for 4 and won all of them. Like, why not go the extra mile? And I don't know, take out the shitty fucking movie that Cider House Rules is and move The Matrix into Best Picture. I don't know. I have a lot of issues. 1999 is such a powerful year, yet the Best Picture group is not very powerful.
Well, Michael Caine has to give a shitty main accent and perform those abortions, or what else? Like, things could go wrong.
Yeah. Well, that's what the Oscars love. The Oscars.
That's what the Cider House Rules is about.
I've never seen this movie yet.
It's not good. Not good.
It's clear genre bias. I mean, that's the only explanation for why The Matrix wasn't up for Best Picture. It's a great movie.
But The Sixth Sense,
Green Mile and Sixth Sense both have fantasy elements.
Yes, they do. Green Mile is very much a drama first and a fantasy movie second, and Sixth Sense is kind of barely a horror film.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's more drama, so I think the Oscars were more willing to give that more stuff. If it had been like, I don't know, what Sleepy Hollow, for instance, which is way more of a more traditional horror film, that got some technical nominations, but it wasn't getting any of the big stuff.
I mean, okay, I love Sleepy Hollow, but I probably wouldn't have it up for Best Picture either. Like,
why wouldn't either? It's just a for instance.
I just think The Matrix like should break that. Like, I think it's that good.
Yeah,
it should break that barrier of like, let's only nominate movies like American Beauty that are dramas and like trying to tell a story about an American family.
They've been doing that. It seems like they've been doing that a little more. Like, well, now they've got 10. Like, well, I don't know how long it's been. It feels like it's been 10 years that they've had. 9 or 10
since 2009. I want to say.
So they're nominating shit like fucking Black Panther or whatever. Like,
now they got to fill slots. Like, now it doesn't seem that special anymore because you got to fill slots.
I don't really get the 10 fucking movies thing.
No, Connor and I have always said like 5. 5 is the way to go. Well, exclusivity.
It's definitely just a way to throw a fucking bone to more shit.
Yeah, 100%.
So like, if they were doing 10 this year, Matrix definitely would have gotten nominated.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
I mean, I feel like Everything Everywhere All at Once is like a Matrix kind of like is I definitely can't say that its effect is the same now as like Matrix was then, because I think that like Everything Everywhere All at Once is like taken from the Matrix and like was influenced by it, but like it was, I mean, or I guess more so was influenced by, I mean, there was movies that influenced the Matrix that like,
yeah,
you know, Michelle Yeoh was part of, but like,
yeah,
but yeah, I think they're starting to show a little more love towards
Well,
I feel like what is the best picture nominees for this year?
Tar, Top Gun, Triangle of Sadness, The Women Talking, Avatar. Connor, help me out. Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere at Once, All Quiet on the Western Front. I feel like I'm missing a couple.
There's too fucking many.
The Fablemans.
Yeah. Let me see what else. If you missed anything here. Best picture.
Elvis.
That was the outlier. Yeah, good job.
So no, yeah, Jeremy, I see what you're saying. Like Everything Everywhere All at Once is definitely like representing for like genre fans, and people are like, I want to go see a different weird kind of movie with real, like really good actors that are playing like real, you know, they're character actors, you know, Michelle Yeoh and Jamie Lee Curtis, you know, doing their thing. And it definitely speaks for like an audience. And I love that. I do think, however, during this year, I think if it were only 5 movies, I still think Everything All at Once would be up for it because it has a lot going for it right now. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it fucking won. You know,
I was going to say I'm doubling down. I think it's going to win.
Yeah, like its Vegas odds are like they're like the best. Like they're the top spot right now. I think like the typical choice is Tar because Tar like swept all the Critics' Choice Awards. Tar has like destroyed. Tar has done what only like 4 movies have ever done. It's won like the New York Film Critics Choice, the Los Angeles. You know, it's like won all these huge awards that very rarely do movies sweep that whole thing. But
it was weird when I saw that. I didn't think like, oh, this is a Best Picture contender.
When I watched it, I was like, I want this motherfucker to win.
I never even think of that much. I think it was more like, oh, she should win. I definitely didn't think this film should win.
Cate Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh is one of the coolest fucking races of all time. Like, I hope people don't take it for granted.
If ever again there was going to be a Hepburn Streisand tie again, this is the year I would want it.
100%. This is like, take 2007. Javier Bardem wins for Best Supporting Actor, No Country for Old Men. Daniel Day-Lewis wins for Best Actor for There Will Be Blood. It would be like those two fuckers going against each other in the same category. You're like, oh god, like any other year, like these guys would win the gold no matter what, you know. And they happen to be both the Best Lead Actors. They both have these awesome, long, illustrious careers. Yeah, I think it is fascinating. Back to like the point of genre films, and like you look at the past. When they only had 5 movies, it was like, okay, where is the place for genre films, right? I just don't like want to make up excuses. Like I know the Academy is the Academy, and they've like they're gonna Oscar, they're gonna do their thing, but it's like, man, this 1999 group could have been American Beauty, The Matrix, Magnolia. You know, they could have like nominated really special movies. Being John Malkovich, you know, they could have left The Sixth Sense in there, and you would be like, you'd look back, and you'd be like, yeah, that was a pretty good fucking Oscar year.
Well, traditionally, like, you know, prior to like the 2000s, if a film was a genre film was going to be nominated for Best Picture, it had to be a definitive game changer, like Star Wars, Jaws. For instance. But even with Star Wars, it's like clearly George Lucas did a lot for that, you know, with that film. His direction is incredible. He should have gotten that directing award, but he lost to Woody Allen for Annie Hall. Like, that's bullshit. But Star Wars was cool. It was successful. It was neat, but it wasn't, you know, Academy material. And they knew it. It was like, you can sit here, but you're not one of us.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing, right? Is like that's why people who like genre films are like, yeah, like neat. I like when people, they'll admit, a lot of genre fans will admit, hey, I like celebrating film, but not when you exclude us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I totally get it. I listened to the episode that Josh stepped in for me, and y'all did Broken Lance, and he kind of spoke to like his frustrations, and like I think he thought I was like against him. I'm in total agreement. I think it is absurd how over the years we haven't nominated more. Like, why is Jurassic Park not up for Best Picture? like, what are we doing? That's like the most memorable movie from 1993. Complete game changer.
Well, when you were talking about memorable, like these movies are just like
they're
stinkers.
They're kind of meh.
People make the joke about Sixth Sense all the time.
Yeah,
that's a pretty memorable.
I mean,
thing.
Okay, like, I like the Sixth Sense.
American Beauty is it's a good movie.
I like American Beauty.
I mean, it's forever marred because like everything Kevin Spacey ever touched is marred now. Like, but I don't think Sixth Sense is that great. I actually would call myself a Shyamalan fan, and like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I agree with you to an extent. Like, I like The Sixth Sense. I think it's a solid movie, 8 out of 10. Like, solid movie. I don't know if it's like a movie I would call like one of the 5 best from the year, but I wouldn't say that about The Green Mile, Slaughterhouse Rules, or The Insider, or maybe even American Beauty. You know what I'm saying?
All of these that we've done, especially the showdowns, getting to look at all the nominees from a certain year, I've realized that most of the films that the Academy has nominated for Best Picture are good, but so few of them are great. So few of them have the longevity to deserve to be there. And I don't really know where that stems from. Maybe it's the Academy looking at 15-minute clips. Again, I'm going to keep bringing that up. It's fucking unbelievable. But I don't know. I just, I don't really know how much longer it'll be there. Viewership drops every year. Eventually, we're going to lose the Oscars. And the legacy that we have thus far is going to be what's left. And I want it to be reflective of the culture that's watching these films.
Yeah. No, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I don't know if the Oscars will go away. Like the Academy will go away, but like
the show will definitely go away. The awards probably will.
Yeah, like the show as we know it, like being like a Sunday night primetime television on ABC, show, fucking hosted by some of the biggest, baddest comedians, of all time. Like I don't know if that's going to be around forever. You know what decade you can look at, and you can actually say, wow, they nominated some good, great movies. It's the 70s.
Yep, there it is.
It's the fucking 70s, man. You look at the Best Picture winners from that decade, pretty much all of them are awesome. Knockouts, Patton, fucking sick. French Connection, fucking sick. Godfather, come on. The Sting, Godfather Part 2, One Flew of the Cuckoo's Nest, Rocky, Annie Hall, Deer Hunter, Kramer vs. Kramer. The weakest movie of that group is probably Annie Hall, and that movie's fine. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's saying a lot. So like, I think at one point there was a meeting of the minds. There was a what's popular is also what's good. What's highbrow is also popular. So it was just kind of like a perfect mesh, and that's what we're going to be going there next weekend. Next Sunday, we're going to be talking about The China Syndrome, 1979. Nominated for 4 Oscars, a movie that I've adored for a long time now, and I've wanted Connor to see really bad. Starring Jack Lemmon, Michael Douglas, Jane fucking Fonda. I can't wait to do this movie. It's one of those random 70s movies that I just can't wait to kind of dig into. That's gonna be a lot of fun. But on Filmgasm on Wednesday, what do we got?
We got Wolf. Random pick from the book. A lot of those coming up, and basically Jack Nicholson gets bit by a werewolf, gets super horny, and chaos ensues. So
I'm in for that.
I don't really know much about it beyond that. I haven't seen it yet. I'm waiting for next couple of days. I like to watch it as soon like up against the recording as I can, so it's fresh.
Yeah, if it's like a first time watch,
yeah. And yeah, Wolf, it's Jack. I'm always down for more Jack, so bring it on.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson's one of those guys that you just all go in blind. I don't give a fuck. Like he's one of those guys. So that's good for Filmgasm. There's no fake true stories this week, so we got Filmgasm. What's on the Beyond the Bad?
Beyond the Bad, we're going Sandler, and we're looking at The Waterboy.
What?
I have to defend this to everybody I talked to about this. Isabel had the same reaction. Okay.
So, no. I know it's critically. I mean, a lot of his movies are destroyed, but
yeah,
I want to be on that. God damn it.
Yeah, the Waterboy is a favorite among fans, but critics eviscerated it, and we're gonna kind of reclaim it. Caleb says it's hilarious. It's my first time at the movie. I've never seen The Waterboy.
What?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Waterboy is like one of his lesser movies.
It's bottom tier, like great era Sandler. Like it's no fucking Gilmore. It's no Big Daddy. It's no Billy Madison, but it is funny. I put it on the same tier as like Wedding Singer, 51st Dates.
The older I get, the less I like it.
I still like The Waterboy.
I still like Happy Gilmore as much as I did the first time I saw it.
Oh, Happy Gilmore is like a perfect.
Slowly gets worse. You know, my equivalent of Waterboy is that I really love is Little Nicky. Like
Little Nicky, yeah,
I fucking love Little Nicky. Some people
I liked Little Nicky when I was a kid, and then I watched it as an adult, and I'm like, I was a fucking idiot.
Oh yeah.
Little Nicky.
I still like Little Nicky, but not because it's
fucking
good.
Kathy Bates and Waterboy.
Yes.
Fucking
as his mom. Come on.
Fucking awesome. And then I don't know what's his love interest name.
I can't fucking remember.
I like the love interest too. It's the voice he does.
You can do it. Yeah. I just like a lot of stuff that
I don't
happens.
like his Bobby Boucher. Like
Bobby, come on, Bobby. Water sucks. It really, really sucks.
Yeah, it's too much about that movie.
Yeah.
But Kathy Bates.
Anyways,
prime.
Y'all are doing Waterboy on Beyond the Bad.
We are, and also, provided all goes well the next week, Isabel and I will be recording the 5th Fake True Stories on the Amityville Horror, which we will be releasing the following week. Looking forward to that big time. We both agree it is a bullshit story, but we are looking forward to finding out how everybody started to believe it.
I like that. That's what the podcast is built for. So we got Wolf, Waterboy, China Syndrome, and possibly Amityville Horror for Fake True Stories next week. Good fucking lineup there. I love it. Guys, this has been a blast. I love talking about these kind of iconic movies where the conversation just fucking goes where it needs to go. Jeremy, thank you for being here, man.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
My brother. It was fun. It was cool. We'll definitely need to get you on sooner than later for an episode. Maybe Stuart Little. Fuck. No, definitely not.
Stuart Little.
We'll pick a movie you actually like.
Oh, I love that movie. It should have won. Should have won Best Picture.
Yeah.
The fact that it wasn't nominated is a fucking crime.
Yeah, god damn it. Follow us on fucking the socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at FILMGAZM. Look on the website. Follow me and Connor on the old Letterboxd. We got Connor95, and unfortunately, you got to look me up as Austin Johnson, and that's on. I need to fucking change my username so people can have an easier time searching me. But I'm out there. I'm always active on it. Connor's putting up reviews nonstop on that service. So having a blast. Can't wait to see what we have in store for this week and what will unfold. Until then, keep watching movies.